This year around February, I pick up running as one of my third spaces for social engagement. From forum websites to the Strava platform, something that bridges the gap between my corporate job and personal life, where my main hobby had been reading books. The reason why I started running was first because I was overweight. Sitting for long periods every day made me realize I needed to take fitness seriously. So I decided to add a cardio activity alongside my usual workouts. I began taking long walks around mid-January, twice a week. To hold myself accountable, I downloaded the Strava. Soon after, I bought my first pair of running shoes to take running more seriously. The first pair I bought was the Nike Revolution 7. But as I continued to progress my fitness, I noticed the shoe didn't really match my performance needs. That's when the problem starts creeping in. The first issue was what I call the mall trap. I bought the shoes immediately because they felt soft when I tried them on at the store. But once I started running, I experienced stiffness, dull cushioning, and a lack of responsiveness over time. This was the problem with my Nike Revolution 7. I recently gave them to my younger brother because this shoe no longer fit into my current rotation. Even though they were my first running shoes I bought with my own money, they turned out to be my worst purchase. So, guys, don't buy these shoes. After that, I dove deeper into research within sneaker culture. Surprisingly, I discovered that Chinese sports apparel brands are making strides in the market, offering alternative options for consumers. My search for the ideal shoe that fit my needs became more focused until I finally purchased my second pair of running shoes. This is the Chowdan DS2. Now, pag-usapan na natin. So, first of all, big shout out to Fixin' It Valenzuela branch, formerly Impeccable Shoes Cleaning and Services, for giving the Chowdan DS2 a professional clean. They handle everything: shoes, caps, bags, even recluse services. I'll drop their page in the description below so you can check them out. Now let's talk about the shoes. I bought this pair after watching some running shoe reviews from experienced runners. They mentioned both pros and cons, but honestly, those cons actually work for me. Back then, I was still overweight during the first 5 months of the year, trying hard to shed pounds while keeping an active lifestyle. And there's the thing, this shoe is perfect for overweight runners starting out. It supported me through my early runs, and guess what? It's still holding strong after 205 kilometers mileage. Not bad for a budget shoe. So, let's talk about the specs. First specs I want to mention is the 7mm flat insole. This is 7mm flat insole. Soft, not that hard. 270 grams for my size, US 9.5, wide to toe box, and the bottom part this is around 114mm bottom width, as I recall, and 95mm heel width is bottom. And if you look closely, guys, this is trapezoidal outward expansion design for stability. So it has this pyramid or trapezoid design. If you look very closely on the design of the outsole from this heel, it's very pyramid-like design. What impressed me most is that even though the shoe feels soft, I didn't get that wobbly midsole effect during long walks. The Q Cozy midsole, as I remembered, is an EVA blend. with a 41 millimeter heel stack and 35 millimeter forefoot stack. So this is 6 millimeter drop from heel to toe, and the price is just around $32 as I recall. That is 2,000 Philippine peso, and that's a steal. Outsole check, you'll see somewhere on the heel. Don't know if you can see it. There's some wear on the heel. I used to be a heel striker, but now I'm more of a midfoot striker. So there's a wear over here too. It shows the shoe has adapted with me as I improve my form. So when I first started running, I was a heel striker. So this is the outer side, and this is the pronation side. The inner side is where I pronate. So this is the heel. There is somewhere, and somewhere over here, compared to other rubber, there is a small detail of emboss. Yeah. So that is my left foot. So I tend to strike on the outer side, as you can see. I don't know if you can see it, but it's there. So, during my last 10-kilometer run, I did feel mild cramps on my left knee around the 8-kilometer mark. My pace was about 7:23 per kilometer, 7 minutes and 23 seconds per kilometer, and I had to slow down. Part of that because rainwater soaked into the cushion, making the shoe heavier. So yeah, rainy runs aren't ideal with this pair. I'm still planning another LSD run, about 10-kilometer next week. The outsole only shows minimal wear, so it's definitely holding up. And talk about responsiveness. One thing I noticed around the 12-kilometer mark, the shoe starts losing that pop or bounce. It happened twice during a 16-kilometer runs. The EVA midsole just isn't built for super long distances, but the softness stays, and for shorter runs, it's still comfortable. So final thoughts about this shoe is that for easy runs between 7 to 8 minutes per kilometer, this shoe is reliable, budget friendly, and kind to your knees and legs. I wouldn't use it for speed workouts. It's a bit heavy, and again, avoid rainy weather because the cushion absorbs water and gets heavier, which can strain your knees. So that's my experience with the Chowdan DS2 after 205 kilometers. I'll probably keep using it for another 200 or 300 kilometers more before upgrading to the version 2 or another max cushion shoe for half marathon distance later this year. Maybe a Chowdan LH 200 2.0. We'll see about that. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you find value after sharing my long-term review of the Chowdan DS2 version. This is only version 1. After 205 kilometer mileage, I only use this for easy runs, but I did use it for tempo runs as well, but only for 7 to 8 minute kilometer per pace. So yeah, that's about it.